Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I'm Chris Witt. With me, as always, Mr. Adam Schmidt, both pens in hand. Adam, how are you today?
Extraordinary. How are you?
If I was any better, I'd be you. You know what? I'm doing extra good today. There's two things today. Number one, I would like to say this is a big day for the Nosebleed Sports Podcast as we are officially on iHeartRadio. You can officially find us on iHeartRadio. Next stop, podcast of the year.
I hope so. It would be cool to even just be invited to the iHeartRadio
100%.
Music Awards or whatever it is.
It's the podcast. They have a specific podcast awards.
Right.
I don't want to go to their music awards. That's too many fancy people. I don't have shoes that I can wear into something like that. So
you have funeral and wedding shoes.
Nah, man, no, I don't.
Come on,
I don't.
I've been to probably too many funerals with you and many, many, many weddings with you.
And they're all just my regular dress shoes that I wear every single day, and they're dirty and not clean. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no gator boots. I ain't got nothing good for.
You don't got no gator boots?
I ain't got no gator boots. Although I bought this new suit for a wedding a couple months ago. Blue, right? Sean John blue thing.
Hey.
Oh, looking pretty. And they had some blue shoes that went with it. Ugh.
You have to get blue gators with that. If it's Sean John, you kidding me?
They weren't gators. They were like suede.
Okay.
I couldn't touch them. I couldn't do it. I tried to touch them. It was too hot. I couldn't do it. It was too hot.
I feel you.
Couldn't pull the trigger. Is what it is. Anyway, besides the congratulations to that, you can find us on iHeartRadio now, as well as every other platform Thursday mornings. Obviously, 10:30. If you're hitting us up right now, we are on the Facebook Live, Nosebleed Sports on Facebook. Follow us, friend us, watch us live at 10:30-ish every Wednesday. But don't worry, if you miss it, it's out every Thursday on your favorite platform,
wherever you can find.
And
any
now,
podcast.
iTunes, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, and billions of others. So besides congratulations to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast for getting on iHeartRadio, I also would like to congratulate, to start things off, the New Orleans Pelicans coming from behind, making Knicks fans miserable, and getting the number one pick in the NBA draft. I'm so excited about this. This just throws the entire NBA offseason through a loop. Everybody thought they had their ideas of what was going to happen. You know, Zion's going to the Knicks, KD's going, and Kyrie's going, and this guy's going, and this guy's going, Clay's going over here. Now all of a sudden, the New Orleans Pelicans have the number one pick and a previous number one pick that no longer wants to be there.
That's correct.
A lot of crazy things can happen at this point.
The New Orleans Pelicans had a 6% chance of landing that number one spot in the draft, and everybody's upset. Specifically, New York Knicks fans are so upset. And we saw a lot of videos and sound clips and stuff of of New York Knicks fans acting like they were owed the first pick in the draft.
They're Knicks fans. What'd you expect? They're Knicks fans.
So they ended up with the third pick. When they got to the fourth pick and it was not them, there are videos of Knicks fans celebrating like Patrick Ewing just made a buzzer-beating shot in Game 7 of the 94, was it 94? I think the 94 finals to beat the Rockets. That didn't happen. The Rockets won.
Exactly.
But that's how they were celebrating. And then 5 seconds later, they drew the number 3 pick, and people were collapsing onto the floor, heads in hands.
I didn't see it. I didn't watch it because I'm going to tell you the thing that gets on my nerves more than anything in the world are drafts. The NBA draft is probably the only one that's actually halfway meaningful because there's only 2 rounds, and those guys probably are going to play for you, and well, at least the first round guy.
Rounders, yeah.
And a lot of the second round guys are going to play and do something on your team. In the NFL and Major League Baseball, it's a bunch of garbage, and that probably won't even make the team ever. So besides that, I didn't see it. So how did this work? Did they start from like 5? I mean, you would think all your ping pong balls go in the basket, right? Like they would pick the first pick first.
They started with number 14. So it's the first 14. They started with that one.
So did the Knicks have a chance in that, or do they not have any ping pong balls in that rotation?
No, as far as I know, everybody has a chance. The top 14 have a chance.
All right, so then why wouldn't they do the number one pick first? So everybody's got, the Knicks would have 35 ping pong balls in there. The Grizz would have 35, or Phoenix would have 30, and then it would be less and less balls as it goes down. You would think they would pick one first.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure exactly how they work it, and they changed it this year anyway. They at least changed the odds because they're trying to find a way, and maybe they still need to tweak it a little bit, but they're trying to find a way to deter teams from tanking, right? So you had 3 teams, the Knicks, Cavs, and Suns, all with the same percentage chance, all with 14%.
Right.
And then you had Chicago next at 12.5, and then Atlanta at 10.5. Then you had Washington, New Orleans, and Memphis. Washington at 9, and then New Orleans, Memphis, and Dallas with 6. Then you had Minnesota, the Lakers, and then Charlotte, Miami, and Sacramento all had a 1% chance to get that first pick. So they're trying to even out the odds a little bit, enough so that if you end up with the bottom 3, one of the bottom 3 teams in the league, you may not get that. I mean, your best chance was 14%. That's an 86% chance that you do not
get it. Exactly. So I like it. It's getting better.
It's getting better.
And this is the thing. Like, look at this. At New Orleans and Memphis, neither of those two were one of those bottom 3.
And New York, Cleveland, and Phoenix had the 3 best chances. You had Phoenix get the 5. Cleveland got the number 5, and Phoenix got the number 6.
Right,
I believe. So those teams fell back further than they were expecting. The Lakers were higher than Memphis got the number 2 pick, so they were a lot higher. And of course, New Orleans, who had a 6% chance to win the number 1 spot, they won that spot. Obviously, the favorite is Zion Williamson to be the number 1 pick.
But is he now? So all right. So first off, I want to say this: New York fans are crying. They got 3rd. Poor them. They're going to end up with R.J. Barrett at this point in time, who was the number 1 player thought to be in this draft when the college basketball season started, and he was probably better than advertised, and yet now he's going to be the 3rd. So yeah, guess what? You're still okay. It's going to be all right.
Zion Williamson is just an out-of-this-world athlete. R.J. Barrett, most people say, is the more polished basketball player at this point.
Sure.
So he'll probably be ready to help you faster than Zion Williamson will be. Zion's ceiling is probably higher, but R.J. Barrett is probably the most ready. And yeah, certainly as long as New Orleans does do what everybody thinks they're going to do and take Zion Williamson, Memphis has already come out and said they're taking Ja Morant at number 2, and he's going to be the heir apparent to Mike Conley to be the point guard in Memphis for years to come.
However long.
And he's going to be really exciting to see in the NBA. R.J. Barrett at number 3, most likely. After that, I mean, most people are saying this is a 3-player draft. There are other good players,
but those are the best. Those 3 are hands. They're in a different league than everybody else.
Yes.
And Cam Reddish is probably going to be a top 5 guy, and he was thought to be maybe a 2 or 3 guy coming into this. So a lot of there's still a few good guys out there, but yeah, after that, Cam Reddish, RJ,
Barrett.
What's your guys? And anyway, that's going to Memphis.
Oh, Ja Morant.
Ja Morant, yeah. And Zion, that's pretty much it. So,
but what about so in New Orleans, you had Anthony Davis during the season last year request a trade. It didn't happen. My initial thought when New Orleans won the number 1 spot was, is this going to convince Anthony Davis to want to stay possibly?
Right.
Now, he was he wanted a trade because he was unhappy with the direction the team was going. Since he requested that trade, they have replaced the general manager. They now have David Griffin going forward, and they have the number 1 pick in this year's draft on June 20th. he has already come out. The reports are saying that he has already come out and said, "No, I still want a trade."
Really? I
Yes.
just don't understand this. Like, this is going to change this team. This team's going to be really good maybe in the next 2 years. But of course he's only under contract for 2 more years, right? Or for 1 more year.
1 more year.
1 more year.
Yeah.
I don't know. Good for him, but this is the thing though. With the Pelicans having this first pick, can this new general manager entice another team to give up a big a superstar to come play with Anthony Davis? Would that be enough to keep Anthony Davis there? Or because Zion's going to be a 2-3 year project, right? I mean, he's going to be great. He's going to sell tickets coming right out of the gate. He's going to be a freak athlete. I'm going to tell you right now, he's probably still going to average 10, 10, and 7. Something crazy, almost a triple-double the way this dude is. But I just don't know that that he's the guy who's going to put anybody over the top right off the bat.
Right.
So, is this an enticing trade piece now as this number 1 pick?
It is.
Or do they want to get out in front of the AD thing and get their next superstar?
I think that's what they're going to end up having to do because Anthony Davis is sticking to his guns, it sounds like, and he wants to be traded. Now, I know David Griffin is going to try to convince him to stay. If that does not happen and they trade him, you either have the piece that is going to be your next generation guy, your next superstar for this franchise moving forward, or you can use him. You can trade the number 1 pick. Look, you could trade it to number 3. You could swap with the Knicks.
What piece is the Knicks going to give you right now?
Anthony Davis goes to the Knicks.
You get R.J. Barrett and what?
Well, the Knicks. Well, they would swap draft picks.
Right. So you would get R.J. Barrett then. I'm talking about the New Orleans would end up getting R.J. Barrett in that 3rd pick. That's who's going to be there. And who else?
And whatever.
What does New York have to offer right now?
Yeah, not a lot. Maybe Kevin Knox and
that's
their
nothing.
first-round draft picks for the next 6 years.
I was just going to say, if you're going to give up a talent like Zion Williamson, a seat, somebody that's going to put butts in seats, like Zion Williamson, let's be honest, man, it's a business. You got to sell tickets. And if you're going to give up a guy like that, you need something besides R.J. Barrett, that third, I keep saying R.J. Barrett, besides that 3rd pick, which is going to be R.J. Barrett. But the Knicks don't have anything to give up. They already gave away Porzingis. He's gone. They have nothing.
What about this scenario? What if
let me just say this real quick. I hate trying to figure all these things out. This is my least favorite. This and the draft are my two least favorite things.
Okay, but one more because
right,
I think you're going to like this one because this is your boy's team.
All right, my boy.
So Anthony Davis said he wanted to be traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, right?
Sure.
They couldn't make it work. The Los Angeles Lakers have the number 4 pick. What if the Lakers traded the number 4 pick and that huge bundle of players and draft picks that they offered, the best offer they had, now throw this number 4 pick to New Orleans for Anthony Davis. New Orleans gets the number 1 and number 4 picks. What about it?
Wow, that's that's enticing, right? You're talking about like a Cam Reddish or some overseas guy and Zion Williamson to New Orleans, plus whatever else they had, and the Lake Show gets AD. I'm good with it. Let's do it. What do we need a draft pick for if we're picking up AD?
Well, I think you'd be left with Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and 0.
Well, you're going to have there's other people out there. That Kyrie Irving will then be is then going to come over in free agency. Now at that point, now you're stuck because there's your 3 max guys. Now it's going to be tough. Now we're going to see what the Buss family can put together for us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm down for it.
Kurt Rambis. Because
Kurt Rambis is technically making all the decisions right now. And by the way, can I just tell you, when that dude was playing back in the 70s and 80s,
it
was the ugliest son of a gun I've ever seen in my life.
He was a guy that did not look like a basketball player.
No, long hair, glasses, strapped to his head.
He was a big part of those
he was
Lakers
huge.
teams.
He was really good.
Won
he was
5
there.
championships.
I know it. I know it. The Lake Show. He was part of every single one of those and played a lot of big minutes.
Mm-hmm. He did.
And also got beat up by Robert Parrish, didn't he? Or stepped on by Kevin McHale or something like that.
Kevin McHale clotheslined.
That was it. The clothesline
in the 84 finals, and it started the big because they beat the Celtics by like 30 the night before or whatever, and and Larry said, "Look, we're gonna have to get a little dirty here." And Kevin McHale, who did not want to do it, ended up doing it because he just had to. And that's the way basketball was played in the '80s.
Instead of we're gonna have to be a little dirty. No, that's not like an inside elbow to the or a little grab or pull or anything like that. Like a John Stockton, you never even saw it.
Right.
Guy gets done. John Stockton guarded you, and you were bruised from shoulder to knee, but nobody ever saw him do anything.
Right.
No, this dirty is just throw your arm out and just knock him brother over.
Clothesline a guy in midair, which would get him ejected and suspended and fined and everything today.
Soft NBA, so soft. NBA so Adam Schmidt right now.
That's fair. Anyway,
all right.
We're talking about next year, the next several years with this draft. Let's talk about right now.
I'm down for that.
Before we talk about right now, Chris, let's stay with the basketball theme. I had so I play in 2 leagues every summer. The first night of the first league started tonight.
Yeah.
So I played. I'm way out of shape.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a few weeks to get back in shape.
It is what it is.
If I had been continuing to go consistently to training personally
with Peggy Edwards,
I'd be fine, and I would have been good tonight. And I was not good tonight. But look, no matter your level of fitness, if you like to be challenged or need to be challenged, and want the benefit of working with a personal trainer, but don't want to pay for one, training personally with Peggy Edwards is your gym. Peggy Edwards is going to put you through an interval circuit training session that is designed for all levels of fitness with a personal trainer, and it's at your pace. So it's an interval training session. So it's at the pace of a timer, but you are going to go at your ability, basically. And she will design the workouts. She keeps them fresh, keeps them fun, keeps them safe for your ability. You can find Training Personally with Peggy Edwards on Facebook and at trainingpersonally.com.
There you go.
Now,
on that note,
if I had been going to Training Personally every day since 3-4 years ago when it opened up, maybe I'd be in the NBA. Maybe I'd be playing in the NBA playoffs right now.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
You'd probably you probably would have been the guy at the end of the bench sitting right behind Kawhi Leonard as he squatted on the ground and watched the Teen Wolf bounce go down. First off, let me ask you a question. So if anybody didn't catch it, the Raptors beat the Sixers to go to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals on Sunday night. Now, there is a shot that Kawhi Leonard made, a game-winning buzzer beater, which apparently Game 7 buzzer beaters never happened or something like that. And I don't know. I heard some kind of – it doesn't matter. Kawhi Leonard – NBA rims, you never see a guy take a shot in the NBA and it bounce on the rim 4 or 5 times. If it hits a rim, it's either going to rim it in or rim it out. What is going on in Toronto that Kawhi Leonard can throw a shot up and it literally looked like the Teen Wolf free throw? It was. Tell me that was not the – it actually probably bounced higher and more than the Teen Wolf free throw did.
It did because it was from a farther distance. And because he shot it 10 miles in the air because he had to shoot it over Joel Embiid, a 7-footer.
And Ben Simmons, who was on his other side.
Right. And he was falling out of bounds in the corner, had to get it over Embiid, shot it to the rafters.
If you're a Sixers fan, I feel for you. I feel for you because as a Xavier fan, I had to watch a punk from Wisconsin almost do the same thing, turn around, throw something up out of his behind. Problem is, that kid did get lucky. Kawhi Leonard's just that good.
Kawhi Leonard is that good, and he got the shooter's roll in that instance.
That was no roll,
and it was
a shooter's bounce.
It was a shooter's bounce. It was a shooter's 4 bounces.
4 bounces, maybe 10.
And he showed more emotion than I think we've ever seen him show, which was just a yell. It was just one of those primal screams, because that's the biggest play you can possibly make. Any bigger, it could only be bigger if it was in the finals, maybe the conference finals or the finals. But this was in the Eastern Conference semifinals. It was in Game 7 to beat the buzzer. Biggest shot of his life, biggest shot in Raptors franchise history
by far.
So he lets out a scream, and that was it.
Oh, here we go.
It's business as usual.
So we're gonna get into this,
which is why I love Kawhi Leonard.
I was gonna let this go. Because I didn't want to get into it. Because I was actually gonna say, how great was it to finally see Kawhi show some emotion? Everybody makes fun of him for not ever showing emotion, which obviously is Adam's favorite thing in the world. Heaven forbid you make a shot and get excited. Oh my gosh, it's just terrible. So Kawhi Leonard lets out a rebel yell.
Yep.
And screams, and probably would have been beating his chest and doing everything in the world. That's what I say. But he, was then mobbed by everybody, and then immediately grabbed by a reporter, which once the reporter's in, Kawhi's done. Like, Kawhi went from 100 to like 10 in a matter of a split second.
Exactly.
And good for him. I'm glad that he doesn't care enough to let his emotions come over him. And I'm okay with Joel Embiid's out there crying. He let his emotions come over him. It's okay to do that every now and then, both ways, happy, sad.
Okay, that's fairly fair. I definitely don't think it's a lack of caring that makes Kawhi Leonard like that. I think he's probably as competitive as anybody in the league, but he is just very emotionally intelligent, very emotionally strong.
Emotionally intelligent,
and mentally tough. And
I'm surprised how much you like this guy, considering he refused to play for Pop.
Your boy. I did have a problem with that. That was so unfortunate. I still am a little heartbroken over that, because I wanted him to play for the Spurs forever. The Spurs would still be playing right now, I think, if Kawhi Leonard was there. But either way, Tim Duncan was the same way. That's why I was hoping Kawhi took the reins from Tim Duncan after he retired and was going to be that same, like, not necessarily emotionless, but very emotionally stable, which is big. I mean, we talked for years until now about pitchers in baseball.
Yeah,
that's the thing that you would know even better is when things are going bad on the mound for you.
Yeah, you
don't want to show that emotion. You don't want to show that that things are bad. You don't want to show when you're mad at an umpire, you think you're getting squeezed. You don't want to show that.
No, you don't, but that's because you don't want the umpire to show you up and do what he's not supposed to do and not help you out. But that's a different story. I mean, look at John Lester. John Lester, one of the best pitchers in baseball for the last 12 years, and he shows more emotion on the mound than anybody I've ever seen. Upset when he's wrong and happy when he's not.
Yeah, and that's, look, I know emotion is emotion, and it's going to come out. I do appreciate the people, because I want to be like that. I want to be more like that, where I keep my emotions in check no matter what happens. I want to be like that, so I really appreciate and admire those people like Tim Duncan, like Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah.
Those guys that are able to do that. It feels like they are on another level, just really mentally.
Sure, and I can understand. I'm starting to understand a little bit, because I've played some ball with you in the past, and if anybody lets his emotions out sometimes, it's my man Adam. He can get a little irritated.
That's the thing, and that's why I try to understand that. I understand it a little bit more when
I don't know
when
if you
guys
do.
when guys get, and look, I'm the biggest proponent of working on the referee player relationships, because I think players are just, I'm so sick. I talk about it all the time. I'm so tired of the players complaining after every single call. When I'm playing, adrenaline takes over you, and that's why that happens. Like, that's why people get into scuffles. That's why people yell at referees. That's why people yell at their own teammates.
Why they get excited when they make big shots, when they've been struggling or anything like that, when big moments in the game happen. That's why all the things that you, well, I shouldn't say you hate or don't like. I don't like them as much as if a guy like Kawhi Leonard makes the biggest shot of his entire life and the biggest shot for an entire franchise and yells and then is done. And then doesn't even, like, he doesn't jump up and down. He didn't have a chance
hug
to.
it. Yes, he did. He could have done anything he wanted to.
15 people on his bench were huddling over top of him waiting for that ball to go in.
That happens every time a guy beats the buzzer to win a game. Happens every single time.
This was a little different. This was a little different.
I don't think so.
This was a little different.
I don't
think
so.
Game 7.
I think right. So you would think he would be more excited. He would take off running down the floor.
He didn't have a chance. He was squatted down on the floor. Like, he was lucky to be able to stand up.
He could have done anything he wanted to there.
Get out of here.
I did definitely have a moment of feeling a little connection with Joel Embiid when I saw him walking off in tears. I felt really bad for that guy. He played sick basically all series. He has been dealing with injuries the entire season,
his entire career. Since he was at Kansas, he never played at Kansas. Well, I think he played 2 games or something.
And the guy played hard this series, and he wants to win. That's emotion that I have a little more empathy for than when you hit a shot and you run and jump up on the table and pull your shirt to the side, look at how big my heart is, or screaming, "This is my house."
Is that what that means? My heart? Is that what those people? I thought they just wanted to show off their pec muscle or like a tattoo or something.
Why would anyone want to show off?
I don't know. Why do they like pull their biceps up? Like,
exactly.
It's your shoulder.
Why do people do that?
The reason that you made that shot while somebody was holding on you was your shoulders, not your biceps.
It's your whole body.
Why?
I don't know.
So I just thought that was just another big old giant muscle that these guys wanted to show off.
Look, I could be wrong. But I just thought it was a.
What makes you have more heart when you make a basket than somebody else?
Good question.
I feel like it's a muscle.
I just
thing.
always
it's got to be. If it's not a muscle thing, I'm very disappointed.
I don't understand why you wouldn't just flex your muscles that everyone can see. Who cares about one pec muscle?
It's probably got a cool tattoo on it.
No, but with an undershirt.
First off,
everybody wears the undershirt.
I can't even tell what half these tattoos are. Half of them are so there's like a million of them in one spot, so you don't even know what it even is anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
Okay, so we can let's before we move on from that series, the way it ended was incredible. It was so exciting. Going into the series, though, a lot of people were talking about if the Sixers did not win that series, and especially if they got swept or beaten 5 games, Brett Brown may not be back as the coach of the 76ers.
They were beat.
They were beaten in 7 games. But Elton Brand has come out. Number one, Joel Embiid went to bat for that guy.
Oh, big time. Joel Embiid from the moment that game ended was talking about Brett Brown and how great of a coach he is and he needs to come back, blah, blah, blah.
They asked him about it, and he really did. He said a lot of great things, exactly what you want your star player to say if you want to keep a coach around. And he did, and that really could have been the difference between Brett Brown keeping and losing his job. It really could have. Now, Elton Brand did say that Brett Brown is definitely back for next year, at least next year.
So, at least the beginning of next year.
So I'm glad to see that Brett Brown, he's been there for a long time.
He's been there from the bad times through the good times. And he's brought him, he brought him to the second, They've gotten better every single year. They've gotten one step further every year. Give the guy a chance to keep it going. It's not like he's regressing with this team. He's getting better. So I believe he deserves it. I mean, every year he's going a step further. He's not hitting a plateau and stopping. Let's give him a chance. And I'm going to tell you right now, the Eastern Conference next year is wide open. I'm talking wide open. Kyrie's going to be gone out of Boston. You're going to have Kawhi will be gone out of Toronto. You're going to have that's another question. We can talk about that pending on what happens in the Eastern Conference because they just lost today to the Bucks. The Bucks won officially over 108-100. So that could be a big thing if they make it to the finals, or win it all, win the finals. Will that keep Kawhi possibly in a Raptors uniform? I don't know. Speaking of that, did you see that Drake? You know the Drake curse, right? You've heard of the Drake curse?
I don't know. Have I?
Drizzy. Every time Drizzy roots for somebody or mentions he loves somebody, they lose. Like he got on Kentucky's bandwagon right after they won their national championship. Nothing since. I don't know. Every time he's got somebody's jersey on or something like that, they either get hurt or they don't win, whatever it is. So he threw a video up. I don't know what it was on. Probably, the tweet box or the chat snap or one of those face tubes or IG. I don't know. One of them things. But anyway, he put it up. He had 76ers shorts on during that game.
Oh, boy.
The curse continues.
We gotta make sure we keep Reds gear off of that guy. We gotta make sure
there ain't nothing he can do to make this any worse.
All right. Well, before we get into baseball, okay, so moving on to
we'll talk about the Portland-Denver series.
The Portland-Denver series was the other Game 7 on Sunday.
Yes.
Portland, I think a lot of people were picking Denver in that game. It was in Denver. Portland won a Game 7 on the road. C.J. McCollum
Game of his life.
Yeah.
Game of his life.
37, I think.
Yeah.
So he carried them. And Damian Lillard struggled a little bit in that game. By the way, okay, the Trailblazers moved on. They played Game 1 last night, Tuesday night, of the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, the Kevin Durant-less Warriors.
Yes.
Real quick, the Curry brothers matchup. Yes.
I want to say this about the Kevin Durant-less Warriors in the last, now 28 games. The last.
I know what you're gonna say.
Whatever was before that, the last 27 games that KD did not play and Steph did for the Warriors, they're 26-1.
Yep.
I love it. I love it.
And I'm not surprised.
No, because that team won 2 titles without him.
Exactly. And
a title.
Kevin Durant makes you better, but they play a different style, and we saw that in Game 1. They went back to the way they won the first couple titles before Durant got there, and it was maybe the first one before Durant got there and went to whatever it was, 3 consecutive finals before he got there. It was moving the ball. It was Steph and Clay, shooting from either side of the floor, spacing the floor out.
The ball moving like crazy. That was the thing they did so well. That ball moved around the perimeter, inside, out, all over the place. Wide open shots passed up for even more wide open shots, quick passes. Fun to watch basketball.
So much fun to watch.
So much fun to watch. And with KD, the ball can get stagnant. We've talked about this before. It can slow down. It can stick. But
which you understand because he's like maybe the best one-on-one player. One of the best one-on-one players.
He's the best.
Sure.
He's the most unstoppable scorer in the NBA.
Exactly.
Yes. I mean, he can do whatever he wants at any time on the court.
Yes. And so it's weird to think that they are maybe just as good without him.
I don't want to say they're better because I don't know that you can be better without KD.
I agree.
But I will say that they are just as good.
Yes.
They've already they without KD beat a KD team in Oklahoma City with Russell Westbrook, and that was a phenomenal team at that point. They're just as good. I don't want to say they're better, but they are just as good without him.
They are. And I'm
And they won last night.
and they won last night. They won game 1 exactly. So you have Golden State with a 1-0 lead. Now Milwaukee, as you mentioned, with a 1-0 lead. But Steph Curry got back. He's struggled a lot of these playoffs. The last series or two, Steph Curry struggled to shoot the ball a little bit.
Yeah.
And we talked about it last week. He's still putting up, he's still getting 28, 29 or something like that.
Let me tell you,
shooting the ball poorly.
Shooting
for
the
him.
ball poorly, and he's getting 30 points a game.
But he was 9 for 15 from the 3-point line last night.
Let me tell you something. Big brother has got little brother on the court with him. This is gonna be Steph Curry's series. Steph Curry. If I'm the Warriors, I wait till we lose before I bring KD back, because they might sweep Portland just on just because Steph's got little. I started thinking about this. Steph's got little brother Seth, which this is the most difficult thing for me to continue to say. Steph and Seth. Steph and Seth.
Steph, which is short for stethoscope. Stethoscope Curry.
Stethoscope Curry,
So you have
which is
Stethoscope
probably their
Curry
little
and-
sister. Anyway, Steph is he as soon as that game was over in Portland on Sunday night, Seth said he got to his locker, opened up his phone, and it said, "I'll see you on Friday," or whatever. It said, or, "I'll see you on Tuesday."
Right.
I love it. You know that Seth Curry is out there, and he wants everybody to know little brother's been shooting the ball good. He made an all-star team. He's been playing really well this year, but he's still my little brother.
Seth Curry is good enough to play in this series if they use him correctly and they get him a decent number of shots. Now with Dame and CJ McCollum, you're not going to get a ton of shots, but
No, you got to show out for mom and dad. You got to try. You know he's going to try. You got
to show out for your team to try to win games.
He ain't worried about that. Big brother's on the court. Big brother's on the court. He can't miss a shot.
The only problem is there was significant time in this game that he was not on the floor.
It's going to be like that because he's not a predominant player on this team. I mean, he's a good player on this team, and he gets good minutes because he can play some defense. But, no, it's a –
But I wonder, he's going to play a little more when C.J. McCollum's out of the game. But I wonder if they kind of switch things up and make it a 3-guard, 3-shooter offense and try to work something like that where you
So
spread.
you're going to try to run and you're going to try to shoot with Golden State. Woo, that's putting. But you listen. I said this before. Where does this Portland backcourt match up with the best backcourts in the NBA right now? I mean, besides who they're playing in Steph and Clay, are they the second best in the entire NBA?
Very likely. Yes, very likely.
So maybe it is a good idea to run 3 since KD's not out there. Run 3 and give it an opportunity. Give yourself an opportunity. Shoot your way into this game.
And I understand, and you're right. It's usually not a good idea to get into a run and gun game
it's
with
not.
Golden State. But are you going to beat them in the half court?
No.
Probably not. When Golden State wants to be, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They were a couple years ago when they first got KD.
Mm-hmm.
They turned KD into a great defensive player. He led the league in blocks for the first half of a season. He led the team in blocks for the rest of the season. When you have him dialed in, you have by the way, Klay Thompson was incredible on defense last night.
Yeah.
Stopping CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, And by the way, with KD out, you also get Andre Iguodala, the ageless Andre Iguodala,
Dude's
some more
99
minutes.
years old. He's got to be.
And his 2K rating in defense is 99. So exactly. So
There you go.
that was a video. As a video game reference, I know nothing about video games, but anyway,
It's got to be 99, right?
I would think. I don't know. Anyway, you are seeing better defense right now than they've played most of the season from Golden State, and they're back to that where Steph is the predominant ball handler, the predominant
He's
pilot of this offense.
Sure, but the ball doesn't stick in his hands.
Right.
He'll have the ball for just as long if you take time into consideration, probably as KD does, but the ball doesn't stick.
Right.
He's moving. That dude is all over the court. He reminds me of like I don't know. I feel like I used to see Muggsy Bogues get the ball and dribble under the basket and come back out of there in between like 400 big people and then come back out and then flat back around and throw the ball to some. That's what Steph Curry does. Mm-hmm. When he gets down in that baseline and pulls that little half fake towards the baseline and then turns around and steps back three in the corner, that's insane. But I love watching that.
Yes. Yep.
Or he'll make the fake to the three-point line and then curl right back under as the guy goes jumping to the three-point line and have an easy layup.
Yeah. I think people over the last few years have gotten so saturated with Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. A lot of people are rooting for them to lose. People are sick of all that stuff.
I think that's a KD thing. I think a lot of those people are sick of a guy like. It's the fact that they brought KD in and they were so good without him, and then KD comes there and it's like, all right, this is too much.
That is
I don't think it's because they don't like you. How do you not like a guy? How do you not like the Steph Curry, Klay Thompson running gun, shoot it till you die offense? I mean, that's what kids love.
Yeah, because people want to see different people win. They've been there for the last 5 years. And
there's only one other person I want to win, and he's not even in the playoffs. So
he sure isn't. I've not gotten sick of the Warriors. I've not gotten sick of Steph Curry for sure. He's still one of my favorite players in the league to watch, and I'm excited that I'm not excited that Kevin Durant's hurt. I'm excited that they get to play the same style that they were playing before.
That makes sense. Yeah, you don't ever want somebody to be hurt, but you're excited to be able to watch them play the offense that they used to run. I understand. You're just a you're one of those guys that wishes injuries on people.
Sure, we'll go with that.
No. I already made you out to be some kind of non-partying, non-fun person. Well, I didn't make you out to be it. You did a lot of that by yourself.
I made myself out that way.
You did a lot of that yourself. I just didn't help.
No, I just a lot of people seem to be thinking that after it was a pretty dominant Game 1 performance, the game got within 6 with just a few minutes left 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. But then Golden State pulled away and they ended up winning by 20 or whatever. But there were times in that game that it was a lot closer than it looked. But there was also kind of a feel like Golden State would play really hard for a while, get up by 15, 16, and then they'd have Portland would go on a mini run or whatever.
Right.
They kind of let him back in, and then whoops, we got to try hard again, and then go on and then go back up 15 or whatever. Because of that, I think a lot of people were thinking that this series is going to be over quickly, 4 games or 5 games. I still think Portland has a chance to win at least 2 games in this series. I really do. When they go back home, I really think they're probably going to shoot a little better at home.
Sure.
If you get as soon as you get C.J. McCollum and Damian Lillard to shoot the ball well in the same game, it's going to be tough to beat those guys.
Oh yeah.
And the way that we saw Golden State struggle throughout the regular season, more so than they have before, because they weren't always engaged defensively or sometimes offensively, and the weird kind of dynamic with KD sometimes, controlling the ball so much. It's, I feel like it's possible that Portland does still win a couple games and maybe even take it to 6 games. Probably not 7, but
sure.
I don't know.
So you're taking Golden State.
I'm taking Golden State for sure, and
you think Portland will get a game?
I think they're going to get 2 games.
All right. Well, I give Portland a game. Okay. I'm going to give them a game. Their first game back in Portland, Game 3. And then the next 2 go to the Warriors. All right, so on that note, let's talk Kawhi, who just lost today. Who do you got in that series? The Bucks v Raptors.
The Bucks. Yeah, very simply the Bucks.
They won by 8 today, so you're already 1 game up.
And they were down 8 at halftime. The Raptors controlled the first half.
I'm going with the Raptors. I'm taking the Raptors in this. I think they steal game. I think they steal game. It's either 2 or 4, and they end up winning this series.
Very interesting. Okay.
And not because I don't think the Bucks are a phenomenal team. I think they're the best team out there. I just don't think they've got I don't think they have the experience. The Raptors have been there over and over and over and over again, and it's. I just feel like it's. I feel like they've got the experience. Kawhi's been there, their best player. I think Giannis is going to need another year.
Okay, so you think Giannis is going to sputter out?
No,
in this
no,
series?
no.
Okay,
I
so
think
it's
the
not
Bucks
Giannis.
will. Giannis is not going to sputter. Giannis doesn't sputter. Giannis is that dude is a I don't know, an Energizer bunny on steroids. No, he's not going to sputter. But I that's just what I think. That's just what I think is going to happen. I think that goes 7 though.
I hope.
I
sure
know
hope
you
so.
hope it does.
I hope Kawhi Leonard.
I hope it goes 7 and they tie the 7th game and they let them both play the Warriors in the NBA Finals.
Let's have a round-robin tournament in the finals. A 3-team round-robin tournament.
Oh, goodness.
I hope Kawhi gets a last-second shot going toward the corner in Game 7, and the Bucks are up 2, and it bounces 4 times on the rim and just rolls out.
Why would you hope that?
Because I picked the Bucks to win.
That is so.
But that's as close as you can get.
I would rather them just lose by 10. I
But it
don't
would-
want that to
wouldn't
happen
that
to
be-
Kawhi.
Wouldn't that be more exciting?
That's
to see
terrible by you. I feel that's heartless, man.
That? And then Kawhi,
Straight heartless.
and then Kawhi goes insane and screams and curses everybody out,
Well,
and he rips his jersey off, and he strangles a referee with his jersey.
No, Kawhi's just gonna cry. He's just
I
gonna
don't
cry.
think,
They
I don't
just
think
lost.
Kawhi cries. I don't think he has tear ducts.
You know, he obviously does have some kind of emotion. We saw it. Unless when he was squatting down, he like pulled a muscle or something, and that was just pain as he tried to stand up. I don't know. Could have been. Maybe that was not even emotion at all. Maybe that was just some kind of pain of somebody jumping on him when he was down there or something like that. We don't 100% know that Kawhi actually showed emotion. And until I hear it from him, you know, for him to actually admit that that's what happened, I'm going against it now. I think I don't believe that he ever has still.
So you think that was somebody accidentally elbowed him in the rib or something like that?
Maybe a
during the
Charlie horse.
celebration?
He had to sit down in that low squat for a while, waiting for that ball to
the
bounce
ball to
around for 100 times. That he might have got a cramp.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, yeah, he's a world-class athlete, so he should be able to squat.
That
but-
didn't hurt the absolute most world-class athlete ever when LeBron got his cramps when he was in Miami. It happens, man. It happens.
His cramps were
What?
menstrually induced.
Oh. All right, Charles. That's a Barkley
Yeah,
joke.
that was a
That's
Bar-
a Barkley joke.
that
You don't
was a
even
Barkley
like Charles
joke.
Barkley. Yeah, you
I
might be
like-
right.
I like
I kept
Charles.
saying that's what I was saying too. Oh, goodness.
All right, so you have the Raptors in the East coming out of the East. I have the Bucks. We both have the Warriors coming out. We're gonna see what happens. We've got one game under our belts in both series. We will continue on next week with NBA playoffs. We'll be probably game 4 or so around that time.
We'll be a weekend. It'll be a lot because there'll be a lot to talk about. I think. So you're just gonna have to put up with us because it's gonna be NBA to start next week.
It is.
And also to start next week, we are in the middle of May now. So if you haven't got started yet, you need to get started on your mosquito control. And I don't know if mosquito is the way to say it or if it's mosquito. Or
Ends with an A.
mosquito.
No, it ends with an A.
Okay, so if you go to Ohio Mosquito Control, it's ohio-mc.com. They will take care of you guys there. They're going to make sure you don't have any mosquitoes in your backyard. I've been doing it for 2 years now. I think this is my second year doing it. We've been doing it as long as they do it, but my kids get eaten up like crazy. No longer getting eaten up at all, ever, because at Ohio Mosquito Control, they offer a quality service in the Cincinnati area at reasonable prices, family-owned and operated. They are professional mosquito control service. That's just go straight to their website. You can set up the date. You can pay them on the website. You can go through PayPal. They'll give you a bill. They give you a text when they're about to be there. Give you a text when they're done. Give you a text when it's okay to let your dog go back out because the amount of time has gone by. And then they also send you a bill over text. That's the best snaps I've ever had in my life.
Really?
Yeah. By the way, I'm not a snapper, but if you put a mosquito in there, boom, I'd be like Ohio Mosquito Control.
Dead.
That's right. At Ohio Mosquito Control, they are the pest of the pest. Ohio-mc.com. Check them out.
Chris, summertime brings the mosquitoes out.
Yes, they do.
Now, let me ask you something.
Ask away.
So, okay, actually, we'll just do this. Swipe left or swipe right?
Yeah.
No, let's hold off on that.
Oh,
let's hold off on
okay.
that. Let's do this, though.
Hey, let's do this. Let's do a summertime swipe left, swipe right, or just talk about summertime.
This is just a would you rather.
I like a would you rather. I'm good with that.
In the summertime, popsicles or Kool-Aid?
Oh, Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid over popsicle.
100%. I don't care about a popsicle. Unless they're them ones in the long, clear plastic, then I don't consider that a popsicle because I'd rather just let it melt and drink it. So
Kool-Aid.
So Kool-Aid. Yeah.
Kool-Aid
so
and
basically
a long,
Kool-Aid.
skinny sleeve.
Yes. Basically Kool-Aid. It's a shot. It's not even a shot of Kool-Aid that's in one of those in the end.
That was going to be my second question. If you went popsicles, it was going to be popsicle on a stick or in a sleeve.
Definitely if I was, I'd say popsicle in a sleeve so I can let it melt and drink it like Kool-Aid.
Okay. That's fair.
What about you? Kool-Aid or popsicle?
I think I'm popsicle at this
Really?
point. I mean, I grew up drinking tons of Kool-Aid in the summer.
I can honestly say I have never seen you eat a popsicle.
Really? I mean, I haven't eaten very many in my adult life, but I will.
I eat popsicles in my adult life, and I drink Kool-Aid in my adult life all the time, before and since kids.
I know what your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid and popsicles is.
Well, yeah, sure.
Orange.
No. Don't make fun of my orange outfit today. Look, I was laying down with the kids today. So if you're on the FaceTube live or if you're on YouTube, because this is the video we use for YouTube, I've got an orange shirt on, an orange hat, and I'm going to tell you right now, I got orange shorts on too.
I know you do.
So I was laying down with the kids, put them to bed like I always do before Adam gets here, and I had a pair of orange shorts on and a black cutoff T-shirt, just laying down, and went into the room. The very first hat was a Houston Astros hat. I grabbed the first shirt on top of the deck, put it on, got to the top of the steps and went, oh, what do I care? Who cares?
I do that sometimes too, actually. Like if I'm getting ready for work in the morning or I'm getting ready to go somewhere and I just put on clothes and I don't really think too much about it.
Right.
And I'm like head to toe in one color. I'm like, oh, I don't really want this. I don't like this at all. So sometimes I'll change, or sometimes if it's like all black or something, I'm fine because that's mostly what I own anyway.
Yeah.
That's my favorite color. But
I thought you were
which is black is also my favorite color of Kool-Aid and popsicles.
That's a gross popsicle. I feel like that'd be like black licorice.
It doesn't exist, but I guess it would probably be that.
That's the flavor I taste right now.
I want to find brown Kool-Aid and brown popsicles because I would assume that would be chocolate.
A pudding pop.
So you're. I think I'm a little bit. I think I'm definitely a.
And purple, by the way, grape is my favorite of all popsicle, Kool-Aid, everything. Just to let you know, it's not orange, even though I'm decked out in all orange.
Okay, well, I want to see you in all purple next week for the podcast.
I can do that. I have purple shorts. I had purple shorts on yesterday. I got a purple shirt. I got an old elder hat I could throw on. I can go all purple.
I think I still have a purple Reds hat.
Oh,
that I would give you.
I don't even know why you own that.
Because it was given to me.
I hope so.
I would not purchase
Okay, Pete Rose.
Exactly, yeah. No, it wasn't all white. It wasn't all white with the white C and the white hat.
First off, why is Pete Rose always I know the dude's getting old and he probably can't see really well, but that doesn't mean that you got to make the C on your hat that much bigger. Just wear a regular Reds hat.
Oh, did he? I feel like I've seen him in both.
90% of the ones he's got, the C goes from the button to the bill. What are you doing, old man?
He likes the new age.
And he's always got a button up with cufflinks.
Yep. Yes, he does.
Different color cufflinks. I gotta tell you, dude, I like that. Them shirts ain't cheap.
Oh, I'm sure they're not.
I don't know why they're
sure
I don't know why they're so expensive. How? No, you kidding? The dude makes his living sitting in a hole in the back of a baseball card shop in Las Vegas. He is not. I don't think he's doing as good as you think he is.
I think he has all the money he will ever need forever.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. He was
From
on
what?
He was on Fox.
You're right. He probably
Fox
made good
baseball
money
last
on
couple
that.
years.
I didn't think about that.
He
Yeah.
he makes so much money
And
from
he throws it all.
appearances.
And he throws it all to the
Horses.
track.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
No, he's.
Thursday through Sunday, Belterra Park's running.
Is it?
Yeah, Thursday through Sunday for at least the next month.
You tell me when we're going.
We should bring the ladies out. We should take the ladies out
Should
for
we
a night
bring the
running
ladies out?
horses. Yeah,
I mean,
have
okay.
her buy a hat. She can get a. No, we're not dressing up. I
Can
told you we're not
I'll
dressing
give her,
up for this.
I'll give her my purple Reds hat. to wear.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, you're supposed to wear a hat.
Well, at least that would be
track.
one way to make that hat look good.
That's true. The only way that hat would look good.
There you go. I'll help you out there if you
Okay.
need it. I got you, brother.
Thank you, pal.
Anyway, so besides the point, so yeah, I'd say I would rather go Kool-Aid.
Summer is mosquitoes. Summer is Kool-Aid. Summer is popsicles. Summer is baseball, obviously. And so turning our attention to baseball, the big thing that actually let's do our one Reds thing. You had something you really wanted to talk about. It's been bothering you. You've mentioned it before, but you really wanted to talk because it just happened again the other day with Luis Castillo, the Reds ace.
Yes.
He was pulled. He was pulled early.
Castillo, and I'm trying to find the text because I don't have my phone, but I believe he had 2 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts, and pulled in the 6th.
Okay.
Why does this continue to happen? We know we need to get Bobby Nightingale back on here. And this is my big question. This is what I want to know. I don't know if there's been a story written about this yet because I'm not very good at reading. So
Whatever.
no, I mean,
You're colorblind, but you're fine at reading.
I mean, I know how to read. I'm not very good at getting an article up and actually reading it.
Okay. That's fair. There's a lot of stuff I see pop up that I want to read,
But I don't have
that
time
I
for
never
it.
end up getting
Yeah,
to.
and let me also
I
say,
try to read Bobby's stuff, though. He's really, really
he
good.
is really good. But let me say this, that also I am really bad at reading. So I used to go to bed. This is sidetrack real quick. I used to go to bed at night, and my wife would be reading some book in bed, and I'd lean over and like, I'll take a peek at whatever's going on over in this on this page, and she'll flip the page. So starting at the top, right? We're both on page whatever, top page. I'm coming down. I get halfway down that first page. She's already read both pages and spinning the leg. I'm actually truly a bad reader.
Well,
I'm a bad reader.
I am the exact same way. And reading is something that I've wanted to do wanted to do more for a long time. Every year.
Why? What possesses somebody to want to read? My wife said the other day, I can't wait till the kids get older so I can get back to reading more. What? Why do you... There's so many other ways to get information and everything going on, man. What do you need to read for anymore?
Because reading is fundamental.
Oh my God.
Reading. All
right, LeVar reading Rainbow, LeVar Burton. Get your Star Trek glasses out. Let's do this.
No, the NBA did a whole.
Oh, is that what that is? I don't know.
think so.
Reading Rainbow.
But Reading Rainbow is an absolute classic. Absolute classic show.
No doubt.
Reading is knowledge. Reading is knowledge. It's that simple.
Okay, well, I can listen.
You can absorb information in other ways. But look, for some people, the visual aid of reading the words helps it stick in their
You know what
brains.
happens when I read? I fall asleep.
So do I.
It's terrible. I fall asleep. If I want to fall asleep, I start reading.
So do I.
Start reading, I'm out like a light.
But I still want to read.
That
And it also takes me-
I'll get 6 pages into a book and I have no idea what I just read because my mind's thinking about something else.
That's what I was going to say. I'm the same exact way. I have to read everything like 2 or 3 times to remember it or comprehend it.
I want to know how many people are like that. I feel like 90% of the world hates reading or can't read. I don't mean can't read like I can't read. I don't know what REDS spells. I'm saying can't read like I start to read and something happens. I fall asleep. I think about this. I think about that. That happens to me anytime I try to do any reading. I usually read like a paragraph and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired of reading this.
Yeah.
Is there any way for this story to be over now?
I've been reading the same book for like 2 years now.
I've only read one book since I've been out of high school.
Nice. I've read.
It was Moneyball. It's the only book I've read.
And that's one of the books that I've read, yes.
Look at you, one of the books. You've read many.
I've read more than one, but not nearly as many as I would like to.
Yeah.
I have a whole bookshelf full of books that I have not read yet, and I would like to read most of them.
Michael Jordan books, right?
Yes, many of them.
Yeah. So if you're like me and you don't you can't read or you're not good at reading, let us know, man. Let me know. Hit us on the comments section on Castbox or iTunes or iHeartRadio or Spotify or what else are we on? SoundCloud. I don't know. There's a bunch of others I can't even think
everything.
of.
YouTube, everything.
Hit some comments up. Let me know. And YouTube. There you go. The Tube face tube. Tube you.
Let us know if you have trouble reading the same way that we do. Also, let us know your favorite sports books that you have read.
There you go. Sports books you've read. In fact, there you go. Let's make. Well, no, I don't know what our next. Anyway, Luis Castillo. Let's get back to Luis Castillo because I can't stand the fact that Bell keeps pulling these guys early, and it's not just in Cincinnati. You were telling me that this is becoming more and more of a thing. In fact, Chris Sale the other night got pulled after going 7 and hit 17 strikeouts.
Correct.
Gets pulled after 7. I just this whole idea that you're saving an arm or whatever. Well, back in the day, you weren't saving arms. This was normal. Maybe the guys are stronger and there's more muscles being moved and tighter and things like that. And that's a reason why. I don't know, but it's getting on my nerves. Let the guy go out there. Why? Or if you're going to do it, I'm starting to get excited. I'm hitting my pen again.
You're stabbing
the notebook with the blunt end of my pen. Don't tell me about how beat up your bullpen is. It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to. Your bullpen doesn't have to be as tired as it is because you don't have to pull these guys out. Now, the Reds, obviously, whatever they're doing is working. They have given up the least amount of runs in all of baseball. And they also have scored the least amount of runs in all of baseball, which we talked about last week. And that nothing has changed in the past week. However, if you're going to tell me that your bullpen is taxed, then leave your starter who's throwing a gem in for another inning. Save an arm that day. I don't understand it. I don't like it. It's the one thing that's annoyed me since Bell's got here as the manager.
So, yeah, a lot of managers are managing this way now. The Tampa Bay Rays start a bullpen guy sometimes, or they did last year, and then bring their starter in and then bring bullpen guys in. But I think a big part of it is because we have all these advanced metrics now, all these advanced statistics. There are so many ways to measure how to win, how to manage your team, and how to win baseball games.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is that we've seen over the last couple of years that people have found is the third time through the order. Pitchers are significantly worse the third time through the order. So I think that's a big thing why.
I know it is.
And
I know.
So that's why
you just automatically, no matter what, no matter if you are dominating, you know what? Maybe the third time around guys get a little bit better, but when you are so dominating that they haven't even touched you in the first 2 at-bats, why are you not getting a third? He ain't touched me yet. Give me an opportunity.
I mean, I'm with you, but I think that is kind of one of the bigger reasons that this is happening because
But I feel like you're gonna lose your clubhouse. You're gonna lose these guys because they're gonna start getting annoyed and getting upset. Especially, it's not like the Reds bats aren't doing anything, which is why they are where they are. Maybe if the Reds are winning more games, this is not a topic at all.
That's exactly what I was gonna say,
and I'm sure it is. However, you can't tell me if I'm Tyler Mahle or is it Tyler Mahle? Mm-hmm. If I'm Tyler Mahle, Luis Castillo, any of these guys, Sonny Gray tonight, if I'm any of these guys, and I'm throwing a gem. Sonny Gray already said it. There was one game he got pulled. He said, "Yeah, I wanted to stay out there. I was upset when I came in the dugout." Now you're always going to be upset because you want to go further. I understand that because you have emotion that comes out.
Sure.
Anyway, so I just don't. I don't understand how. If you're going to continue to pull these guys out when they're dominating, and when you have an athlete at the top of his game and you're pulling him out, that guy is at some point in time there's going to be some bad blood feeling there. Like, all right, this is enough. All right, the first couple times I understand it. Now it's okay. I'm killing it right now. Leave me in this game. You're going to start. I feel like there's going to be some bad blood between these pitchers and David Bell.
The biggest thing here is wins and losses. I think, because winning cures everything. If you're winning, I think guys are okay. They don't want to, like you said, no starter ever wants to come out of the game, even if he's going really bad. He's not going to want to come out because he wants to battle through it. He wants to, you see guys all the time have really bad first innings and then pitch 8 really strong innings because they just settle in or they figure out what adjustment they need to make. But if you're winning, it's going to be okay. If you're losing, yeah, maybe. But like you also said though, the Reds have I think they second best ERA in baseball, I want to say.
No, it's the best ERA.
Is it
they
the
have
best
the
ERA
best
now?
ERA in baseball.
Okay, so as an entire staff. And their starters have been better than their relief pitchers, but their bullpen's been pretty good for the most part. I think that David Bell is going to have, because he's not going to make those moves on a hunch. That doesn't happen anymore. He's going to have the data to back up why he's doing this, and he's going to be able to present that to them. And I know it's not going to be good enough for a lot of guys.
It's not good enough for me.
It's not good enough for you, and it's not good enough for the guys coming out of the game. But if they win, he's not pulling them in the fourth. They're still getting a win. If they
numbers can only go so far. Numbers only go so far. You're look at let's say in Los Angeles. Back in the day when Kobe was going through his trial and flying into these games. Yeah, on paper, all this stuff is going on. But LA lost that series. And I don't know why they lost the series, but I'm going to say a big part of that, not because the numbers said they should have won and the statistics and all that, but there was a lot of crap going on behind the scenes. There's emotion. There's other things that you can look at a guy in his eyes and know how they're feeling and things like that. Not just what's on paper. I don't think that and that wasn't a very good example, but I don't understand why all these people, why we're going strictly to it. I think a good mixture is the way to do it. I think a guy like Joe Madden does a great job. Madden will look at a guy and pull him because his gut tells him to, but he's also going to use every bit of sabermetrics he possibly can to win a baseball game.
I agree with you, and I think I think David Bell's this way too. I don't think he's making every decision based on what,
I think
every
he is.
matchup.
I think it is.
I just don't think anybody's going to be successful that way. And I think David Bell he's a lifelong baseball guy. His whole entire family were lifelong baseball people. He has been around the game too much. I think he's just using numbers and data as a tool, which everybody should be doing now.
I have no problem with that.
Using it as a tool. Now, some people use it
I feel
more
like
than others.
You're past using it as a tool when you're doing it when you're consistently pulling a guy out who is not giving up a single run through the 6th inning, less than 3 hits in 6 innings, less than 2 walks in 6 innings, and is just dominating the other team. You're not using anything else except your metrics at that point in time.
Maybe.
What else is he using? Are you going out there looking at him like, yeah, it's the 6th inning again? Look, his arms.
Managers and coaches are able to tell things and guys' mechanics and their body language and stuff like that.
Yeah, the Castillo was really falling apart.
Right. It doesn't look like it. Right. It doesn't look like it. David Bell has a reason for making these moves. The Reds on the thing that matters the most is wins and losses. So you can point to that and say, you know what, is this really working because we're not winning? But you already mentioned it. The pitching is as good as any pitching in baseball.
Yeah.
And it's the offense that's the problem as far as wins and losses go. But for right now, the way he's handling it, it's working for the pitching staff. It's working for them. You don't have to like it. I don't necessarily like it either. It's strange to me. It is strange to me. And you started talking about it before, but it seems to me like, for years and years and years, the guy that started the game was going to finish the game, whether he gave up 0 runs or 20 runs. It was just like that for a long time.
Okay, we're not there. But if you're dominating a game, I'm talking about dominating. I'm good. After 5 innings, you're giving up 3 runs and, whatever. Yeah, you've pitched a pretty good outing, but you know what? You're done. It's time to go. We're going to go elsewhere. But no, when you are dominating and you are on top of your game and that is what gets me. That's where I don't understand these moves. Like you said, maybe if they're winning these games, it'd be different. But they're just not. So it is different.
I think if the Reds were 10 games above 500, you'd be like, David Bell's a genius. I can't believe he's doing such a good job.
I don't know. I still feel like I would be a little. I still feel like this for me. I would be a little like, there's something weird about how this is going down. I mean, last night he got pulled, and the Reds lost 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
Now, through 6 innings, he had not given up a run.
Right.
That's all I got to say. I mean, that's literally all I have to say.
I'm excited to see when this offense does come around and get a little bit more consistent, where the Reds go as far as their record. Because if he continues to manage the pitching staff this way, and they continue to pitch really well. Now, I'm not sure. I don't really feel like the pitching staff is going to stay this good all year.
You don't think so?
I don't really feel that way.
It's a lot of young kids. Well, it's really not a lot of young kids. These guys have all been pitching for a while. I feel like I don't know. I feel like if anything, it's the hitting that eventually is going to come around.
It will, but I think they'll both kind of meet each other where the hitting's going to improve a little bit, and the pitching's going to maybe decline just a little bit too, because most of the back of these guys' baseball cards,
the back of the baseball card
say different. They're gonna regress to the mean, if you want to call it that. But I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong about that, but I just don't think the pitching staff is going to be. They're not going to lead baseball in pitching for the entire season. I just don't. This staff has been thrown together in the offseason for the most part, and we still have Alex Wood might be coming in to see what he does. But I just don't. I just think it's going to get a little bit worse, and hopefully the hitting gets a little bit better. And then when it's kind of even, then we'll see if he, number one, manages the staff the same way.
There's no doubt in my mind he's going to continue to do this. And it's going to continue to irritate me, and it is what it is.
That's fair.
I can't even explain to you how much it annoys me. Let's move on.
I want to do the devil's advocate thing and just try to present another side, but I'm really kind of with you there. It is frustrating to see when Luis Castillo is red hot, and he's maybe if the season ended right now, the Cy Young Award winner in the National League.
He's one of the most dominating pitchers in all of baseball right now. Top 3, top 5 dominating pitchers in all of baseball. Maybe that's only because he's pitching 6 innings at a time and he's not getting an opportunity to see that third. That could be why. Don't get me wrong.
But you want to see the opportunity.
But I think he deserves the opportunity.
So if he comes in, and it sometimes it's not about if he walks a guy in the 7th to lead the 7th off or something, and then you pull him, or he gives up a hit or something like that.
That happened one time. Every other time he's been pulled before the inning.
Just as an example, where you give the guy another inning instead of pulling him when you kind of want to or whatever, and he gives up a walk or maybe a hit and a walk or something like that. It's not always going to be a walk or a hit. Sometimes it's going to be he's gone. This is the 3rd time through the order or the 4th time through the order. The data says even the best pitchers pretty drastically decline through that time in the order. It could be a home run. I mean, it could be a home run that
could be a home run. It could be a home run in the 1st inning when I face that guy. It could be a home run anytime. Now I know the data shows it's more likely to happen then, but that's fine. But if I'm that dominating, especially like in so that was the wrong game. The Giants, we beat the Giants 4-0 in that, or I'm sorry, 7-0. But we were up 4-0 after the 2nd inning. So at that point in time, you're up by 4. Why is this dude not being allowed to give up a run, or at least get himself in trouble?
Yeah.
Give the kid an opportunity to get some more work out there. Not work, but confidence. That's the word I'm looking for. Give the kid an opportunity to get confidence, to grow some confidence, and to feel like, hey, I can go out here and I can throw 9 innings and win a game for my team. Put them on my back and win a game. Give the kid an opportunity. What?
I think it is up to you. They know how he is going to manage the staff at this point. So I think it is on the players to change their mindset about that. They need to say, if I go out there and give 6 really, really good innings, I'm probably going to be pulled, but I will have done my job. I will have done my job, and that's where you get the confidence. You did your job, you get the confidence, whether it's for 5 innings or whether it's for 8 or 9 innings.
Yeah.
You know that you did the job. I don't have control over when I'm being pulled or anything like that. It's going to happen.
Suck it up.
Basically, suck it up. But just you have to trust your manager. You have to trust your manager.
Well,
and
in your work, if you're doing a hell of a job, and every time you almost get to the end of the day, he says, Adam, go take a break. I'm going to let Billy Bob Joe Thornton go over here, and I'm going to have him finish the day, and everybody give him a high five at the end of the game. And at the end of the day, and tell him how great he did for that last 15 minutes of the day. You're gonna sit back every single time that this happens, and you're gonna go, "What the hell is everybody so excited about this dude?" And everybody's gonna say, "Adam, for real, great 3/4 of a day, man. You had a great 3/4 of a day." And you're gonna be like, "Well, screw this dude. I was on a roll. I could have easily had a great full day." And you're gonna eventually start hating your boss. You're gonna start absolutely being disgusted by the sight of him walking by.
Well, it's a her.
I don't care. It's a theoretical.
I know what you're talking about.
The whole time, that's all you could think about.
No, I understand, and I don't really know what to tell you. It's going to be. I think maybe what I just said that the starting pitchers need to do. I think you might have to adopt that, man. I think you're just going to have to trust your manager. Your manager is
I'm only working 6 hours a day from now on. I'm only working 6 hours a day.
Well, if that's what your manager feels like is best for the company to get the best out of the entire day, then you've got to trust him and be like, you know what? Okay, I know I can go on. I know I can do a great job and finish this thing, but
whatever. Chris Sale, did you hear Chris Sale had 17 strikeouts in 7 innings?
Speaking of maybe being pulled a little early, Chris Sale Chris Sale did have 17 strikeouts in 7 innings. It's the first time ever 17 or more strikeouts in 7 innings. First time that's ever happened. So history was made the other night. Chris Sale really struggled badly in his first 5 starts, or first 4 or 5 starts.
Big time.
Of the season.
I think it's okay to say that he's getting into a groove now.
He certainly is, because through his first 5 starts, he was 0-4, a 7.43 ERA, a 1.52 WHIP, and his last 3, 1-0, 0.14 ERA, 0.47 WHIP, 41 strikeouts and 1 walk in the last 3 games.
I'd say my man's right back on track.
He is on a roll. He is I still think he's the best pitcher in baseball. I think he's a Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer. Obviously, if
I'd give you that,
as long as
his
career continues to go as it's been projected. But he was pulled after 7 innings. 17 of his 21 outs that he recorded were strikeouts. He had no walks that game, I think. Pretty sure he didn't walk anybody with 17 strikeouts. He threw 108 pitches.
There you go. Here we go again.
And that's part of the whole thing.
This magic number that every single pitcher in the entire Major League Baseball, their arms are all exactly the same and they can only throw 100 pitches. That's the most annoying thing. You want to get into annoying things? Sabermetrics and all this other stuff. I love metrics. I love statistics. I love looking at things like that. I grew up, baseball's a statistical that's what baseball is all about. Is it's all statistics. Everything is. It's what's fed in front of your face forever. At the same time, wherever this 100-pitch malarkey came from years ago, you're telling me that every big leaguer's arm is exactly the same. They can only throw 100 pitches. Okay, I understand that after 100 pitches, I'm sure your ERA goes here, there, and the other way. That's fine. But how about a little bit of I can look out there and say my man is strong as an ox right now, and it's Chris Sale, and he can easily throw 130 pitches and be absolutely fine. Whereas a guy like maybe Alex Wood gets to 100 pitches and his arm's about to fall off. That's a difference. It's 100 pitches is not everybody's number. It's not everybody's number. It's probably maybe a median. But if you can't go out there and look at Chris Sale and go, okay, 7 innings, 17 strikeouts. Did he give up any runs at that point in time?
Yeah, he did give up in the 7th inning. He gave up a 2-run homer to Nolan Arenado.
Okay, what was the score?
Second best player.
I want to know.
Second best player in baseball.
I like to know what the score of the game was at that point in time and all other kinds of things. There's a lot goes into that.
I believe it was 3-2. I think they were winning 3-2 at that time.
All right, so they're up 3-2. So okay, I can kind of understand that because now it looks like you're maybe struggling. However, if it was a good pitch that was hit by a great hitter, that's a different story. You're past Arenado now. Finish this off. If you get back to a guy like that, maybe then you take him out. If Arenado comes back up maybe in the 9th, maybe you take him out and let somebody come in against him that's got a little bit better, fresher arm, or another look for Arenado. But in that case, you're talking about I didn't see the pitch, and I hate to talk about stuff that I didn't see and I don't know everything about. But if it was a good pitch and not a hanger or something like that, and Arenado just got a better swing on it, you're talking about one of the best hitters in all of baseball against one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Okay, so that's shaken off immediately. Now I'm back in the windup because there's nobody on base, and he's probably going to mow down the next 2 guys, 3 guys.
Yep. As a matter of fact, he did. I think he did. After he gave up that home run, he struck out the next 2 guys to end the inning. But
why not take him out after that? Sounds like he's struggling.
But he did put somebody on base, obviously, because it was a 2-run homer. He put somebody on base before Arenado's home run. So maybe he was looking a little – it's still weird to think because he struck out 17 guys.
And then he struck out the next 2, so he was still moving.
Right. And what's tough – now, this is a situation. If this happened with the Reds and David Bell took him out, they lost that game. The bullpen came in, gave up that game. They lost it. I'm Chris Sale. I've struck out 17 of 21.
What are you doing? You pissed? You upset? You upset that you got pulled? I'm telling you, why does Castillo not have that same I just stepped over top of you and
No.
said what I think you're thinking, but I don't know what you're thinking. Continue. If
Well,
you're Chris Sale,
if you're Chris Sale, I write my manager a very gentle letter and say, "Dear Mr. Francona, I trust you wholeheartedly."
I'm going to tell you right now that I don't know why he's writing the Cleveland Indians
Or yes,
manager a letter, a strongly worded
Sorry,
letter.
Not Terry Francona. Not Terry Francona.
Anyway,
no, seriously, I'm sure he wasn't happy about being removed, but maybe he understood. Maybe there was whatever reason he was pulled. Look, there might.
No, he was pissed.
He
was pissed.
He probably
I was pissed. He better be pissed.
Okay,
because he's making millions of dollars. He better be pissed because I'm pissed.
I'm sure, especially after they gave up that lead. I'm sure
I wouldn't have been in the dugout anymore. I would have had to have left the dugout. I would be in the dugout, and then once that lead was lost, I would have had to leave the dugout at that moment in time.
To go be frustrated and then come back?
I don't know that I'd come back. It depends on if I was able to get over the fact that, it depends on how long the rest of the game went, but if it's going to take me a while to be able to look at my manager out in the dugout. And I know the dugout's big and I can go to another side. No, I'm going back. I'm going back behind everything. I'm probably screaming and not cussing under my breath. I'm cussing out loud instead of under my breath like I would if I was in the dugout. Chris Sale's pissed.
Grab a bat, find a water cooler.
Go toss. Go be like Chris Sale and go toss in the
in the concourse.
In the concourse.
Yeah. This was a strange thing. Look, but I'm just so impressed with his 17 strikeouts in 7 innings. He's the first pitcher since Max Scherzer to strike out 17 people. That was 2016. First left-hander with 17 strikeouts since Johan Santana in 2007.
07.
So we're talking 12 years. First Red Sox pitcher to strike out 17 since Pedro Martinez in the year 2000.
Wow. Good for him. Good for you, Chris Sale. Too bad baseball's losing its touch, getting soft as the NBA.
Okay, listen, I want to do something really quickly. All these strikeouts. We talked about Castillo, strikes tons of guys out.
Yeah.
Talked about Chris Sale, 17 in 7 innings. Chris, I want to know if you can name the top 10 all-time leaders in strikeouts in baseball.
Okay, top 10 all-time leaders in strikeouts. I'm going to go like Cy Young.
He is not one.
No, okay. How about obviously Nolan Ryan?
Nolan Ryan is number 1.
Randy Johnson.
Number 2.
And then let's see. Nolan Ryan, Randy Johnson. What about a guy? I don't know. I'm trying to think of some old cats, like a Walter Johnson.
He is number 9.
Okay,
Very
Walter
good. Johnson.
Let's go with how about Pedro Martinez?
Pedro Martinez is not in the top 10. He's number 13.
Okay. So I've got 3 so far. So, man, you think you'd have Roger Clemens.
Roger Clemens is number 3.
All right. So you got that's the top 3. Then you'd have to keep going with some old cats that pitched for a long time and started. So, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Too bad we didn't do this early on when we had more people watching live and I could get a few more, a few tossed at me. Give me. Let's see. Just give me a team. Just give me a team.
Yep. The number 4 all-time leader in strikeouts, Philadelphia Phillies.
Carlton.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Steve Carlton. The number 5, I most associate him with the Minnesota Twins. He pitched in the
Is this a Necro?
80s. No, but
Oh no, this is Jack Morris. No,
Nope.
not Jack Morris wouldn't be that.
Nope. By the way, Necro was number 11.
Oh.
This is
Hold on.
This
hold
guy
on, hold
was
on.
on the Twins World Series championship team in 90 whatever it was. Early 90s.
You're gonna have to give me this one. I'm drawing a blank.
91 I think it was.
Who is it? Just give me that one.
He has a beard.
I don't care.
Initials are BB.
I don't know.
Burt Blyleven.
Burt Blyleven.
Burt Blyleven's the number 5. I would not have guessed.
I would have never put him in the top 5 all-time. That's just the guy who pitched forever. It's the guy who pitched forever, and he thinks he should be in the Hall of Fame because he's top 5, and he probably should be. Guys. Yeah. All right. So I don't know. Now we're talking about guys that pitched forever. I mean, Curt Schilling's not in there.
Curt Schilling is number 15 on the all-time strikeout list.
All right. Andy Pettitte pitched forever, but he wasn't a strikeout pitcher.
Nope.
Let's see. Is a guy like Clayton Kershaw? Where's he at?
Clayton Kershaw is on the list at number 54 all time.
All right. Let's see. All right, give me the next guy. Let's go.
Number 6, New York Mets. New York Mets pitcher, 70s and 80s.
This is my dad's probably so mad at me right now.
He's going to be mad at you for this one.
Let's see here. Catfish Hunter?
No. Nope. This is going to give it away. After he pitched for the Mets, he also pitched for the Cincinnati Reds.
Oh, I thought you said the Yankees.
No, Mets. Did I say the Yankees?
Oh, the Mets.
I'm sorry, I meant the Mets.
Oh, the Mets. You're talking about Franco. John Franco?
Nope.
Oh. Okay, tell me who it is.
It was Tom Seaver.
Oh, you suck, Tom Seaver. No, what an idiot. I'm sorry, I'm a ding-dong. This is more difficult when you get put on the spot. I didn't know what this list was going to be.
Right. Yeah, we do need to say that. You had no idea what I was going to do here until right now, basically.
I'm good with that, though. So how many have we gotten so far?
So you have
1 through 6 and then number 9?
You have number 6 and you have number 9, yes.
All right, so we're looking at 7, 8, and 10.
7, 8, and 10.
Give me years. Like, how old are these dudes?
Okay, so the number 7 guy, he pitched for 23 seasons. Dodgers, Astros, Brewers, A's, Angels.
Jesus criminy.
Yep. He, let's see, Hall of Fame induction in 98.
That dude pitched for a lot of teams.
Yeah, he's an old fella.
How old is he? This is not good radio. No, you're good.
No, I know.
Let's go. Okay, so here we go. So I'm gonna say, Let's go. How about what's that guy's name? Carrasco.
Pitched from 1966 to 1988.
Jeez, oh Pete.
Yeah.
Is this like a Gaylord Perry or something like
that? No, but Gaylord Perry's number 8.
There we go. All right.
Hey.
All right.
Okay.
And it's not the other Negro?
No. Phil Necro's number 11. No. This one's going to be really tough. I think this might be the toughest one.
What about like a
list.
Christy Mathewson?
Nope. Christy Mathewson was not in the. Yeah, he's not even in the top 20.
Okay.
This was Don Sutton.
Don Sutton. Wow.
So you have
all but one. We just need number 7.
Number 10.
Or number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10 is
some yo-ho who pitched for 137 years. No,
not a yo-ho. He pitched for 137 years, but he's not a yo-ho. He's not a hoo-ha. He's not a rum-dum, and he is not a
ding-dong.
Ding-dong. He is.
I never said hoo-ha. You keep saying hoo-ha.
I'm telling you.
I'm not a hoo-ha.
I'm going to find it.
I'm not a hoo-ha guy. I love hoo-has, but I never use it to describe somebody.
Okay. I'm going to find it, and we're going to play it back.
Okay.
This guy, man, he's definitely one of my favorite pitchers ever because you sometimes, like on his birthday and once in a while, you'll see something on Twitter on like a stat about this guy, and you were like, that is unbelievable. I know that doesn't narrow it down really. But, okay, this was a guy that pitched in the 80s and 90s, predominantly in the 90s.
Okay.
Probably the best pitcher in the decade of the 90s.
Wow. Oh, my gosh. Greg Maddux?
Yes.
Jeez, well, Pete, that should have been way easier.
And you don't think of him as really a big strikeout pitcher,
no,
really.
No, but he also pitched for 37 years.
He pitched for a long time, and he had a good arm to begin his career, and then over time, he developed his pitches so well and spotted them so well that he did strike out guys because he threw maybe an 85-mile-an-hour fastball and struck guys out all the time because the movement on his pitches
and location.
Yes.
There's a story one time David Justice told. David Justice is in left field in Atlanta, and before they go out into the field in like the 5th or 6th inning, Greg Maddux walks up to David Justice and he says, "Hey, just right in front of the 304. Just play right in front of that 304, and just put your heels on the warning track." Second pitch of the inning, fly ball. David Justice, heels on the warning track, right in front of the 304.
I love that.
Greg Maddux looks at him and winks.
Because that is, oh my
Greg
God,
Maddux,
I have chills. That's
I'm telling
so
you, Greg
awesome.
Maddux is the Larry Bird.
I was just thinking
He's
that.
the Larry Bird of.
That's so cool.
Yes.
It's such a cool story. I've actually heard that story before. Once you started telling it, I realized, but I forgot about it. So that's really, really, really fun to listen to.
Yeah.
You know what? It is my goal I'm going to spend some time this weekend just looking up Greg Maddux stuff.
Oh, you can find plenty
stories and stats like that. Oh, God.
The Larry Bird. I'm starting. That's kind of starting to. I like it. You know, he's one of the most dominating pitchers ever.
Mm-hmm.
Underrated, not underrated, but just like when you looked at him, you're like, that dude is not a great pitcher. Like you look at Larry Bird and you're like, that dude can't play basketball.
And they're talented, but their biggest asset is their brain.
Yes, 100%.
Chris, swipe left, swipe right.
Let's do it.
Washing your hands, you go soap first. First move is to the soap dispenser.
Swipe left. No, I gotta get them wet. A little soap, back to the wet. I'm a wet soap wet. That's kind of like with my toothbrush. When I brush my teeth, get my toothbrush wet, toothpaste on, back to the wet, scrub the teeth. What about you? Swipe left, swipe right. Water after you put the toothpaste on.
100% swipe right.
Oh, okay, good.
I'm so with you on that.
Yeah.
On both washing hands.
There you go.
It's
amazing.
It's so strange to me when I see people in the restroom get done, go over to the sink, dry hand with some soap. Put your dry hand under the soap dispenser.
I am not a fan of that.
I am not either.
I can't stand that. That's so gross.
That's weird to me. It's so weird. Same with the toothbrush then.
I don't know what it is, but I can't get my toothbrush wet, put toothpaste on it, and then think about putting that dry toothpaste. I know it sounds weird, but it's dry toothpaste. You got to get that bad boy a little wet first again. You got to get it wet again to get the scrub on.
Yes, two wets.
Two wets.
Two
Two
wets.
wets both ways.
Thank you.
Two wets and a dry.
Thank you.
I'm with you, brother.
Gosh, I'm so happy that you said that.
Hey, if you're listening to this and you've made it for an hour and 30 minutes, let us know. Are you swipe left, swipe right on either of those? We both swiped right on no. I swiped left.
Because I said soap first.
You said soap first.
So we agree.
Let us know what you think about it. If you're a wet soap wet, or a wet toothpaste wet, or if you're a wet dry, or if you're just a dry wet, or wet dry wet, how it goes. Let me know how you do it. If you're wet dry wet, or wet dry. I'm pretty sure that's pretty much all you can be, right? Those are the three options you got. Wet dry wet, or wet dry.
I'm gonna have to listen back to this and figure out what you're talking about.
I feel like the wet dry can only go with toothpaste though, because in that case you got to go wet dry wet with soap, because you can't get your hands wet, get soap, and then be done. So if you're talking soap,
right,
you're either dry wet or you're wet dry wet.
Right, because you have to rinse the soap off.
You got to get the soap off.
Right.
Now, if you're toothpaste, you can be wet dry wet. You can be dry wet or wet dry.
You know what I feel like I've seen maybe in like...
I've never seen somebody put toothpaste on a toothbrush, not getting it wet at all, and then get it wet again. I've never seen that in my life. I've not seen a lot of people brush their teeth, but I've never seen that. That would make me say that's disgusting. You got to rinse off the nasty stuff that when your toothbrush been sitting on the counter for a day.
I feel like this is only in television programs because they do certain things that aren't like realistic for the flow, you know?
Sure, yeah.
But I feel like I've seen a brush teeth, spit, don't rinse out your mouth, don't rinse off the toothbrush, just throw the toothbrush. Yeah. Like, because that's like you have to shorten that
All right, so
task.
So before we're done, so after you brush your teeth,
Uh-huh.
how many times do you rinse your mouth out, and then do you drink the last? First off, are you a cup? Do you have Dixie cup still, or are you a hand? You cup with a hand.
I do hands.
Okay, so I'm a cup hands, rinse, spit, cup hands, rinse, spit, cup hands, little suck down of just a little water for a drink, and I'm
Wow.
done. Now I'm done every time.
So I definitely don't do that. I don't do any drink. I don't swallow any because for me, there's still some toothpaste residue in there. I'm spitting several times,
Oh yeah,
but I think I go one. Maybe I go two. Maybe I go two
2 hands.
in there.
I'm a 2 rinser. I'm a 2 rinse and spit, but I've got to have one more for a little drinky drink.
So number one, I don't drink water out of a faucet anymore.
Why? That's the best. That's the best tasting water there is.
It's-
Unless you're in Florida.
it's
Why is
absolutely
Florida
not.
water always the worst tap water?
I would guess that Flint, Michigan has the worst tap water.
On my way to Florida last year, we stopped outside of Lexington, and I tried to get a pop. I asked for a Coke Zero, and the lady said, "Sorry, we cannot do Coke Zero. We can't do any pop right now because of the water, whatever that was going on somewhere in Kentucky." So little did I know, that means you can't even get a pop, a fountain pop.
Yeah, because water is mixed in.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
right. That's interesting.
Anyway, besides the point.
Best water, cleanest water in America?
I'm pretty sure we are in there, aren't we?
Hamilton, Ohio.
Yeah. Oh, Hamilton, Ohio.
Hamilton.
I thought so. It's not Hamilton County.
Nope. Hamilton,
Ohio.
the city of Hamilton.
I'm close enough to Hamilton to where my water's clean.
We have pretty decent water, but it also still has whatever lead and fluoride and whatever else.
So I love tap water. Like I would drink tap water every night. I get myself a little cup of tap water, sit it there. The next morning though, that tap water is nasty.
Yeah.
And all that sediment
I'll
has
bet.
gone down and done. Yeah, then it's gross. But right out of the faucet, I'm down for it.
Because all the scum rises to the top.
Is that why it is?
I don't
I can
know.
drink that whole thing down in the whole drink. Every time I take a drink, I drink it. Ugh. I just go right back at it. I don't care.
Oh, when you wake up in the morning?
I
even
gotta
though
wet
it's
the
nasty?
or in the middle of the night. I gotta wet the whistle sometimes, man. A boy like me fat guy like me snore a lot and dry the mouth out.
Oh,
Gotta wet the whistle constantly.
Man, poor Aaron, gosh.
Poor Aaron. I end up sleeping in somebody else's room. I'm
Exactly.
sleeping in every other kid's room because they're in my bed. I don't sleep in my own bed anymore. All right, man. You got anything else to jump in there with?
I'm good. We'll have plenty to talk about next week.
A lot of NBA again. We'll have our triple play baseball deal. We'll do our best to come up with some good things with that. It'll probably have a little bit of Reds involved. Maybe we'll talk a little more NBA off season. I doubt it because that eventually is going to start getting on my nerves. Is all I got to listen to is what if. Yeah, what if nothing happens? How about that, Stephen A. Smith?
That will never be the case.
Right, that's true. But yeah, so we'll get into that. And you know what I'm going to do? I think we should reach back out to Mr. Bobby Nightingale and see if we can get him on because I want to ask him about this. I want to ask him what he thinks about the Reds. So I'm going to let you be in charge of that.
Okay, especially if it continues to go on for the next few days and over the next week, we will get him on to talk specifically about that.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do it.
All right, so definitely
we'll get you some answers.
So catch us. You can catch Adam on the tweet box at
Adam Schmidt 44.
I'm at Sick With It. Catch us every Wednesday, 10:30-ish on Facebook Live. Thursday on all your favorite platforms. You can now catch us on iHeartRadio. On that note, don't forget to turn your headlights on.